We begin today's recording by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we are on. I am on Burrawang land. Where are you, Breezer?
I am on the land of the Djajarurrung people.
We pay our respects to the elders past and present and extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples who are tuning in today.
And wherever you're listening to the potty today, make sure you know whose land you're on. Join us each week for some booze-free banter about life without booze.
If you're entertaining cutting back your booze by a day, a week, a month, or for the rest of your life, we would love for you to tune in.
Buckle up and come along for a ride that may just change your life. If any of today's conversations have been triggering, please reach out to your local support centre in Australia. That is Lifeline 131114. Crack a can, Maso.
Crack it. Crack the top off it.
What are we drinking? What do we always drink on this potty?
We drink Altina.
Yes, we love Altina non-alcoholic wines. How good are they?
They're the best of the best. Oh, my God. We're so lucky to have them on board.
Oh. And I've noticed them there. You can get them at Dan Murphy's. Some Dan Murphy's, they sell them. Obviously online.
Yes.
And also in Bendigo, there is a new Zero liquor store, and they have Altina there too.
Yes. And actually, yes, I'll tell you about discount in a second. One of our avid listeners, one of our really good friends, we'll shout out to Hubble. Hi, Hub. She actually found some at her IGA or a little shop in Dandenong. Yeah,
good. Dandenong. Go Altina.
Around front. Yeah, so Altina are popping up everywhere. We love that. So thank you, Altina. Discount code BFB10 gets you 10% off at
Altina Drinks. Sorry, www.altinadrinks.com. So go nuts, people. Go nuts.
Rip into it. We love you, Altina.
Thanks, Altina.
Cheers.
Maso.
Breezer.
How are ya?
I'm good. I'm nervous.
Oh, I know. This is going to be a juicy ep in more ways than one, isn't it?
Pardon the pun.
So this ep will actually drop. It'll be the last Monday of February, which will be Feb Fast, which is the end of Feb Fast, essentially.
Oh, wow.
Which is very interesting because I was at a party middle of Feb, and I was drinking heaps normal. They had heaps normal at the pub, which was awesome. Yep. And I noticed someone else was drinking. He was having a conversation, and I was like, "Oh, you're on the heaps normal." He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm doing Feb Fast. I can't wait for it to be done." He was hating it, Maso. So him and his wife were both doing it, and he's like, "We've already planned our getting back on the piss party." He's like, "We're having a massive party at our house on Saturday, whatever date it was, the 4th, whatever." And he was in that real negative Nancy mindset. He's just like, "It's so boring, just hate it." Yeah, he was just a sad sack at this party. He was drinking heaps normal, and he was commenting on how good that tasted. He goes, no one knows I'm not drinking, da-da-da. Yeah, he was just like, I could not do this. It was just a real strain for him.
Wow. Is this like what you felt like when you had that time off? You were just counting down the days, hurry up.
Absolutely. So it was he just, and I was like, you know what? I wasn't even going to go there with a conversation about how good sobriety is. I was like, nah, he's not ready to hear it. Yeah. And I just wasn't in the mood. I was at a party having a good time. I was like, I'm not in the mood to have a conversation to you about about helping you get through Feb Fast with a positive spin on it.
Yeah, I'm not going to try and sell it to you.
But then another bloke rocked up. He rocked up late, and he was on the heaps normal as well. So whether or not he was doing Feb Fast, I don't know. But that day I'd been out for lunch at another venue in Bendigo, and they had heaps normal too.
Oh, yes, heaps normal taking over the world.
I don't know. I just feel like it's really starting to become a normal thing of choosing not to drink for a day, a week, whatever it is.
Day, week, a month, or year.
Yeah, for the rest of your life. So I just wanted to share that because it's just really interesting to see it from different lens.
Yeah. I love that so much. And I love that heaps normal is becoming normal.
Yeah, absolutely is.
Patchy Lily. I wonder if they knew about that when they came up with that.
I reckon
that was
their strategic they created it strategically for that reason.
The marketing people, they're so clever.
So clever.
Love it.
What about you, Maso? How's your week been?
Well, I've written a million things, but I'm just going to tell you, I went to Fiji last week.
Yes, you did.
With work.
How amazing.
I was there for 48 hours, living my best life. Went out on, if you're in Fiji, go on the Sabre South Sailing tours, whatever they're called. Went scuba diving, paddle boarding, it was just absolute bliss. Did it all sober. You know, the first they offer you a drink when you first hop on, you know, mimosa, and I'm like, oh no, thanks, I don't drink. And then they offered me an espresso martini. I said, oh no, thank you. There'd be a time I would have ripped into them, but no, thank you. And just was happy to, you know, it was just glorious. And then next day, I went to the there's mud pools, like hot springs, mud pools, where they cover you in mud, and then you go in all these little hot springs, like natural hot springs, and it was just glorious. Had a massage. My skin is still so lush, and I honestly just feel like I'm living my best life.
How divine, mate.
Really, really lucky, wholesome, delicious, fun, got amongst it, and just really making the most of my overnights and my job, and how lucky I am. And it's luxurious, and to be doing it all sober and not chasing piss.
Oh, chasing piss.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Whole new experience.
Yeah. And it was really funny. I'll tell you something. The guy that went with, workmate, he was having a few drinks along the way as well. And he was totally fine. He was sipping away at wines and whatever was being passed around. And I just saw the little, it didn't decline, but yeah, it did. But I noticed, like, when we were heading back to shore, which takes, I don't know, an hour 45 or something, it's quite far, I was just looking out into the distance, the weather changed, storms were rolling in, the islands, the water, you know, always searching for dolphins, and he had his head stuck in his phone.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? And I used to do that too, because I looked at that and I thought, because when you're pissed, you're always looking for more stimulation, aren't you?
Yeah.
And he just missed everything. In fact, he came and sat next to me and he was so disoriented. He didn't know where we were. Like, do you know what I mean? And, you know, meanwhile, I've just spent an hour and 45 minutes just complete bliss, just taking in
the moment.
And he was like, you know, head first into YouTube. So that's okay. No judgment. That was me.
I feel like he's missed out on this, like everything that nature is. And even Joe spoke about it last week about just getting back to country, just getting out to nature. Like, it's just so moving and so wholesome and healing.
Yes, healing. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I've had a glorious week. So it's been fun.
Well done, Maso. Before we rip into just a quick reminder that Noddy's Pub Builder's Arms.
Yep.
Yeah.
No. Fitzroy.
Fitzroy.
The big hotel.
I knew I'd butcher that. Bloody hell.
The big hotel.
Pub with
What's great.
As part of the Melbourne Food and Wine Festival is happening on the 29th of March. We've got a link for the tickets in the show notes. It will sell out. Maso and I went to the non-event, which was food pairing with non, which is non-alcoholic drinks. And it was just like rocked our socks off, just like party in our mouth. So this is going to be, they've got I haven't got my show notes here, but there is a leading head chef that will be
Matt Wilkinson.
Oh, Maso, you picked me up. You saved me again. Matt Wilkinson, who will be dishing up some delicious culinary
delights.
So get around it. I think we're going to be there, aren't we, Maso?
We absolutely are.
Yeah,
absolutely are. Can't wait. See you there. Yep. Great work on organising that, Nod Dog.
Yeah, cannot wait. What are we doing today, Maso? Shame story or confession session? I think it's your turn to pick, actually.
Oh, okay.
Which one are we doing?
Shame story.
Oh,
okay. You gotta have shame on me. Shame on me. Gonna figure it out. Oh, they're gonna know.
I'll go first because then you get to go because then I've basically got the pot.
All right, load it up. Load us up.
Okay, well, this actually basically ties into the entire story of this podcast today, the theme of the podcast. And the funny thing was, like, when you and I first started this podcast, we were both in solid relationships. Lots changed. And the thing that we did discuss was we weren't going to talk about sex lives or anything like that. That situation's changed for me, so it's free reign. It's all on me. So my story is today, like I said, say with all of these shame stories, they're very patchy because there's a lot of blackout situation going on basically, at a nightclub, I remember pashing one of our friends, and then I remember waking up the next day, and that's it. I don't remember anything else
Dead.
next to him, and clearly we'd obviously had sex. But I don't remember it.
Shit.
So, and he was like a friend, you know, one of the mates in all the crew, one of the crew.
Did you go back for another crack just to remember it? No.
I know. Nah. I probably would now though.
You'll have to tell me off air who it was.
Yeah,
but, I feel like our listeners will be able to relate to that, Maso.
It probably happened more than once. No, I'm just like, oh.
Do you ever wonder? I know. You're like, what was I like?
Wonder how it went.
What did I do? How did I perform?
Yeah, how'd I go? Clearly, it mustn't have been that good if there was no second invite. Don't remember a thing. That's really worrying, isn't it?
I feel like there.
Everyone, put your hands up. We've got you, babes. Well, hopefully he doesn't remember anything either.
Well, that's right. Or you could have turned to like an absolute sex pest.
Oh, I think they call it freak in the sheets now.
Freak in the sheets.
Yeah, I heard this on a potty today. You're either vanilla or freak in the sheets.
Maybe that's what you turned into. Or maybe you turned into vanilla because you already were a freak in the sheets. Who knows? It might have been dead fish. Starfish, yeah.
Oh, I'll give myself 5 stars for that. Well done.
Yeah, well done.
We're going to go with that. All right.
Well done.
Shame.
Yeah, shame. Mine, not on that topic, but a lot of shame around this one. And I've done this before, Maso. Like when you get to that little mischief kind of mood when you're on the piss and you do stuff that you wouldn't have done sober, which all these stories basically are based around. Yeah. And this popped into my head only a few weeks ago. So I would have been, I reckon, 19, 20 down at Lawn. So on the southern coast of Victoria. Yeah. Cracking spot. So every night we go to the pub and it was with a friend and we're just menaces, just her and I, just absolute menaces. And I was in the toilets and I found a bracelet on the toilet floor, I think it was. And I was like, oh, it's a nice bracelet. I might pop that on. I claimed it. Not my bracelet. And do you know what, Maso? In my whole life, like I don't think I could ever be a criminal because I'd always get caught. I'm the one who always gets checked at airports. I'm always the one. I can't keep a straight face if I'm lying. I would just get busted, like flat out. So I'm just like, I was not put on this earth to be a criminal or to disobey the law because I just been a clink. No questions asked. Yeah. So anyway, karma. I went back to the toilets during the night and I was washing my hands and someone said, "Is that your bracelet?" And I'm like, "Why?" And she's like, "Because I lost my bracelet in the toilets tonight." And it was a really nice bracelet. And I couldn't lie. I was like, "Oh, is that yours?" Oh my God. I was just like keeping it for safe, like made up some rubbish and gave it back to her. It was gutted. It was absolutely gutted. But I thought it was like, if I was sober, I would have picked that up, gone straight to the bar. Someone's lost their little beautiful bracelet, as you would expect someone to do if they found it, if that was yours. No, I didn't even put it in my handbag, put it straight on and started wearing it.
Like it was yours.
Yeah,
really
claimed it. So I'm sorry to that girl, and I'm so glad that, you know, the universe put us back in the toilets at the same time, and she had the courage to say, "Where'd you get that bracelet?" Or, "Is that your bracelet?"
Pretty gutsy though, because how did she know that it?
Well, she would have been sold. She would have. Well, it was quite like, it wasn't just a normal bracelet you'd just get off anywhere. It was you could tell it was a special bracelet.
It was your style,
bit too. A bit kind of funky, like could be like from a special handmade market type vibes.
In the depths of Peru.
It was that kind of vibes. So it was very distinctive. But anyway, so quite ashamed of turning into a thief on the piss.
We just lose all inhibitions, don't we? We're not doing that sober.
Just not doing it sober, mate.
Nice of you to give it back though, and you didn't fight her for it.
Yeah, that could have turned, couldn't it?
Shove her.
Jab, jab. What do we say, Maso?
It
wouldn't have happened if we weren't hammered. Now, just before we kick off today, I just want to make a little side note that I'm not sure if any of our listeners have noticed, but we are up to episode 69, baby, 69.
Dinner for two?
Might put that down as one of my questions today, actually, Maso. Dinner for 269. Is that like a bingo call?
I don't even know where it came from. It should be.
Should be. But yeah, today we are talking about, well, you're on the hot seat, Maso, because we are talking about dating when you're sober.
Yep.
And having little rendezvous with randos when you're sober. Because let's face it, we haven't, well, it's all about you. Would you have ever done this before until this like last bit of time?
No.
So it's all new.
Mm.
Okay. Well, the floor's yours, or do you want me to ask questions? What do you want to do?
Well, do you want me to just go through what I've written down first and then we can circle back with question time at the end?
I'm all ears. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Positive, mate. Positive. Come on.
I'm more nervous about this episode than I am dating these guys sober. I'm putting myself out to the world here, and I'm quite. I don't want to sell out here, but I love an overshare, and I'm also telling you these stories and hope that will give everyone confidence. Just go for it and do things that they haven't done before. And I'm doing everything that I said and thought I wouldn't do, and I'm doing it, and I'm having the time of my life, absolute time of my life. So I'll start firstly. Chantal Lutton was on my flight a little while ago, and we're going to have her on the pod soon. If you don't know who she is, this is a sexologist, and her partner is Dylan Alcott, who is a Australian of the Year last year. Yeah. Anyway, Chantal is a gun, and she was on my flight. They were both on my flight, and Chantal came up the front of the aircraft, and I got chatting to her and gave her an overshare, and we hugged it out. She's just divine. And, I'd said that I'd, been out of this 8-year relationship for a little bit, and she said the best way to get over someone is to get under someone. And I'm like,
brilliant.
Wow, that's your advice. I'm doing that. So, you know that I've told you last year how also a healer that I had, Holly, had talked about one of the things that she encouraged me to do was go to hot springs.
Yeah.
And so I dipped down to hot springs on my own. Could I go to a more capital part of the world? Seriously. Honestly. Yeah, well done, Maso. Loves a challenge, really throws herself in there. I went there. Couples everywhere, and here's me, little old me, with my broken heart and million pieces down. But I just had this mad mantra going through my head all day, and I just worked so hard at that water, clearing everything out. I can actually quite get emotional about it because it was the most healing day I've ever had. And I drove home from that night because I couldn't get the picture out of my head of my ex and my sex life and his sex life with his new partner who's a friend, and I just couldn't get it out of my head. I'm like, I need to rewrite this story. I need to rewrite and put new memories in my head. So those were the motivations for me to go hard on the dating apps. And so I had used the dating apps initially just as an ego boost. I just wanted a match. Didn't want to talk to anyone. Oh God, no, don't talk to me. I don't want to talk to anyone. I just wanted a match. Just needed that little hit. And then obviously as time goes on and you're getting these matches and you're getting those little hits of serotonin, like you do that instant validation. As time went on, obviously it then progressed to people wanting to talk to you. And I'm like, oh, got to talk to someone. Anyway, I think it was one of your questions actually, which was the first one. What was one of your first questions, wasn't it?
I had, what did I have? Let's see, really prepared here.
That's all right.
Let me go back to it. Yeah, well, I just said, sober sex with a stranger. Talk us through the first time you experienced it.
That's right. So this was the time after the hot spring situation. So, like I said, I didn't want to get to know anyone, and I wasn't ready to date anyone. I wasn't wanting in a relationship. There happened to be a guy here, Hawaiian. Picture that, hot Hawaiian.
Polynesian.
Yeah. Oh, no, Hawaii. Yeah. He was, yeah. So he happened to be staying in a hotel in the city. That was perfect. And I didn't particularly want to talk to him. I just needed that physical. I just needed to get that new memory in my head. And it was great. He probably chatted for a bit too long.
How are you feeling going to that? Because a normal situation would be, oh God, I'm meeting a guy. I better, have a couple of glasses of wine. So did you have like anxiety leading up to that? And how did you handle that, Maso?
Yeah, well, I was really excited about it. I knew in my gut that's what needed to happen and I wanted to do that. So I'd had alcohol-free drinks that I was necking. And I'm obviously tucking into them now having this conversation. And I took alcohol-free drinks with me as well. Took a couple of Altinas with me. I just went for it. I just knew my gut was just telling me it was the right thing and I needed to do, and I was just following that. And I was probably, to be fair, pretty horny as well. So
had an itch.
Yeah.
Did at this, like, obviously you're just going there. You were never going to date this guy. It was never going to be a long-term thing. Had you called out that you don't drink alcohol prior to meeting up with him?
No, I didn't. No. It was really cute, actually. So he had said I was going to get us some champagne and stuff. I didn't get around to it. I said, that's fine. I said, I've got some alcohol-free drinks in my bag. I said, I don't drink. And he goes, he pulls it, goes and grabs the champagne flutes out of the bar situation, like super cute. And we had some non-alcoholic champagne. He loved it. So
he joined in and had it with you.
He joined in, yeah, which was really cute. Yeah, not a worry. There was not even an issue with it at all.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah.
So how did you feel after? Do you want to talk about the sex?
Yeah.
So how, like, I suppose one thing that I feel people would be curious about, because when you're drunk, you have a bit more confidence and you're happy to make the first move, or, you put yourself out there more. But being sober, and were we talking, like, was it a midweeker? What time of the day was it? Like, what?
Yeah, I love all these questions because I'm curious to know what the curiosity will be.
So I think
it was midweek evening. I don't know, got over there maybe, 8 o'clock at night or something.
Okay, so you had dinner already and you went over there.
Yeah.
You go.
No, he'd offered to, he said, you can bring some overnight, like a little overnight bag and stay, like offered for me to stay. And I said, no, I'm good. Like, I'm not sleeping over. All I wanted was just that physical connection, and that's it. I didn't particularly want anything else than that. Which is wild. I didn't know this was going to be me, because normally I need that emotional connection to have sex. Most women, and when I've had these conversations with them, people need to feel love or loved or an emotional connection. They can't just go out and just have sex. Turns out you can, very much so. And a woman's got needs and she's got to eat. So
she's got to eat. Snagging bread. I've got so many questions, Maso. At any point, because I think stranger danger.
Yeah. Of course.
At any point, are you going, shit, I'm going into a male's hotel room. I have no idea who he is. I did recently just watch Craigslist on Netflix. People died. A woman died. Were you at any point ever, was that ever in the back of your head?
Yeah, of course, of course. And, like, I message friends, like, to say who they are, their name, room number, all those details, and hand that out, and I'll message you in an hour, da-da-da-da-da. Like, I set up all those safety things first.
Did you feel safer being sober?
Yes, and that's the other thing as well. And I was talking to a girl at work about this as well, and she's a drinker, but she prefers to stay sober too because she's got her wits about her. She likes to be able to drive, to be able to get out of there. And I also agree that being sober, you can read someone better. You get a gauge. You're not drunk and a bit loosey-goosey and losing inhibitions and kind of looking at them going, oh, they could potentially be okay, or, oh, I've just missed that red flag. Oh, it's pink. Bye. It's now green. Like, you know. Whereas when you're sober, you know if something, and you can feel it in your gut. And I just knew in my gut this was an okay, safe situation. And that's not to say other situations have turned sour. And it's the risk that we all take. And actually, no, fuck that. I'm not going to say risk we all take. Men who are predators and awful and disgusting, they're just shitbags, and we're just wanting to have a good time, and they're the ones taking advantage of that. So it shouldn't be a risky thing. It shouldn't be a risky thing.
I listened to a podcast this morning and the girl was saying I've just lost my train of thought. Totally lost it. Gone.
A little bit of stinking music.
Oh no, that's right. I've got it. So she was in her late 40s and she just wanted that physical hookup. So she's like, she brought her age right down to 32, I think. And so she hooked up with this guy. He was living in a share house. And she said, she goes, 3 vodkas and squinting through my eyes. He looked like Tom Hardy.
Yeah. It was
Catherine.
What's it? She was married to Andrew Johnson. She's a gun. She's so funny. What's her book called? Between Husbands. She was going to call it I Don't Like Cricket or Blowjobs or something. Yes. That's a cracking epispisode.
It's a funny episode.
Brilliant. It's true.
So then you're at the hotel. You're having some AF.
Yeah.
You're having a conversation, then talk us through the next step.
Yeah. I think we were just standing up and then he just sort of walked over and he just put his arm or put a hand or an arm on me at some part of my body and then pulled me and had a kiss and then it was on.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is great. Yeah. And easy, comfortable, safe, it was respectful, just comfortable, good vibe. Like, it was exactly what I needed at that time.
And then I suppose the flip side of that too is when you wake up in your own bed the next day. Yeah. You don't go, oh my God, what happened last night?
Yeah.
Oh, you're not having to shoot your arm off.
Yeah. Like I did in the Shane story.
You're in control.
I'm in control. I'm totally in control of that. And I felt really proud of that. I never thought I'd just go have sex and then just walk out. Like, it was respectful, had a little snug afterwards and said, thank you so much. See you later. Bye. Never hear from you again. And that's fine. It's okay.
So are you still on the dating apps, Maso?
Yeah, flat out.
So have you ever had a conversation with a fella and said that you're not drinking? Like, how do you because that can be a really confronting thing for both the person who's not drinking and the person who's received that information. So
yes.
Have you got some examples of that?
Yes, I do. I've got 3 here.
Oh, look at you go.
So firstly, one of the guys, I don't know. I'll probably go in order. So I've got a really lovely friend with benefits who we know about. He's an absolute legend and he doesn't drink that much. And he said he doesn't want to drink in front of me, which is really sweet and really respectful. And he actually said to me yesterday, because he's watched me set up for the podcast, and he said, I'm thinking about giving up drinking. And I'm like, really? He goes, it cost me. What?
Oh my God, Maso.
Yeah. And I was like, really? He goes, why? And I said,
he said why?
He said why? I'm frazzled. I said, why? And he goes, it just costs too much money. And because he's amazingly generous, like he will get, shout the table. And he hopes that, I think when you're in a shout, you hope that will be reciprocated, but it never is. And because he's on good coin, it costs him $700 a night, like to go out. He doesn't go out that much. Yeah. And so he's like, it's just pointless. He goes, and all we're doing is pissing it up against the wall. Like, what's the point? I'm like, go you. And I love that. I love that our situation has always been sober from the start. Like, it's beautiful.
He's seen you, the real authentic you from the start.
Yeah. And he doesn't care. I was really, look, to be honest, there is parts of me during our lovely little friendship that I'm like, it'd be fun to get a bit loosey-goosey and a bit wasted with you. Like, I'd love to get on it with you, but I'm still too terrified of what that would, it's a slippery slope. And it's not, what's the point? What for? We're having a great time without it. So what's the point?
It just made me think, Maso, and I don't know if you can think of an example, but like when you start dating someone, you obviously have big nights on the piss. Like you do connect. I feel like that's been my experience. Like you meet someone, you're drinking, you might meet them when you're at the pub, you're drinking, then you might go out for dinner, you're drinking. So like you've always probably been making out and having sex when you've been drunk.
100%. I was talking to somebody the other day, quite a high profile person recently, and they were talking about how their relationship started drunk.
Yeah.
And their relationship continued to be revolved around alcohol. So was mine. Most people's are. Like, what do you do?
Right.
Like, I think, previous relationship, what did dating look like without alcohol? What did we do?
don't know.
What do we do if we're not going to wineries and, getting on the sauce?
Yeah.
Terrifying. What do we do? Like it was and now, oh my God, like
opens up a whole new world.
Oh, whole new world.
So do you think also this guy has also seen just that you live your life alcohol free?
Yeah.
And that doesn't stop you from doing anything.
Correct.
Like you still go at everything, bullet a gate.
Yeah, and all the fun stuff that I do. 100%. Yeah.
I love that. That's such a positive nice little, positive thing that's come out of a friendship.
Yeah, lovely.
Benefit situation.
Totally. The other two situations with alcohol is what you'll die. One of them's the young punk.
Yep.
He was saying, should I bring over some drinks? And I said, look, I actually don't drink. And he goes, what, really? And I go, yeah, no, been off it, da-da-da. He goes, actually, I'm really glad that's good because I'm on green peas.
What do you mean?
Green peas.
Because that's how young he is. So then does that give him permission that he can drink and you can drive him? Or is that
drop him off at TAFE the next day?
Shit.
Oh, that's so funny.
And being on a green peas, does that mean you can't have a drink? Someone who's been drinking in the passenger seat?
I don't know. It just means they've got to be 0000, doesn't it? They just can't have anything. I don't know what age green peas are. You don't, for the listeners, just use your imagination.
He might have been late
legal. He's over 20. Just.
But apart from that, it wasn't like he was excited. There's nothing else.
Beg your pardon?
Have you ever matched with a guy and you said you don't drink and they've unfollowed you?
Funnily enough, yeah, there has been guys that conversation has come up and they'll want to know why, and then I go on a big tell them why.
Oh, you give them a full spiel.
Well, I know now that just don't even bother. Yeah. So that's okay. They get it curious and they want to know why, and I'll just tell them why, and then they'll just back up like a snail back into its little house, so retract, and that's fine, and that's okay. And I think if there's guys in their profile picture drinking, I'm not. So I'm swiping. If they're on a beer bong, bye, mate. That's not cool. Bye. Or I'm not interested. Interestingly enough, one of the other hotties, he wanted a few Coronas. He was going to come over and have a few drinks. And these guys I've chatted to long before anything's happening. So that very first one was very quick and instant. These other guys are ones that I've had a really nice connection. Built up, yeah, 100%. And they're lovely. And I love they pick up the phone, Breezer. They talk.
Oh, that's great.
That. Love. They get on the phone. I love that so
the blower.
much. They get the blower, have a yarn. I love that so much. That's hot. Anyway, old mate wants to come over and have a few drinks on the balcony. And so I went and got him the Coronas. I said, yeah, I'll get you the Coronas because he had to travel here. And I was in the bottle shop and I told this story and I just saw the rosé there, bottles and bottles of gorgeous, pretty bottles of rosé, and I just looked at it and went, just bottles of destruction.
Mm.
He had his 5 Coronas, which is fine. He's one of those guys that his demeanour doesn't change. You know when people drink and
totally.
He didn't change at all.
Okay.
But it got me thinking, and I had my non-alc gins and he was totally fine. He didn't care. But what I find interesting is, did he need to have those 5 Coronas to get into it with me?
Yeah. Did you ask him that?
No, I will though.
Yeah.
I will, and just say. But he might have just wind down him.
Get on the pod. Get the boys on the pod. Get the Maso squad.
Bring it in, boys. So he so I just wonder that. I'm curious to know. Could he do that sober? That was great. It was hot. It was, beautiful time. But I wonder if he needed, is that him? He can't do that.
Was that the first time you had met sort of face to face?
Yeah.
So he's probably having a few just relaxing.
Took the edge off.
Took the edge off, yeah.
Yeah. So that was really interesting. Then the other question I had, because I was meant to meet up with another guy and he was saying he wants to go and catch up for a drink. And I was like, ugh. What does that look like? We actually want to meet and have an actual date. And I was like, oh, so I messaged two friends,
Yeah, phone a friend situation.
two guy friends to say, what do I do? You know, because I think, and you'd probably agree, Breeza, like back in the day, if someone didn't drink, I'd be like, ugh, weirdo. I'm like, that's a
mate.
turn off. It's a bit of a
Totally.
turn off. Yeah.
And you want
agree?
someone to have that like mischief with, I think, as well. From a totally selfish point of view, like I want you to drink so you can make sure I have fun.
Yeah, totally, 100%. So,
so did you say to him, what was the wash up of that?
So I ended up saying to one of the guys, I messaged a friend. I said, "What should I do?" And he said, "I would just say that you're challenging yourself to stay sober for a while and are happy to catch up. Ideally, a place that serves alcohol-free drinks."
Yep.
And I was like, "Oh, that's so perfect. You know, there's January and Feb fast, da 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 da." And I said, "I'll hold off spruiking and ramming down the podcast down his throat." And he said, he goes, "I don't think it's a turn off anyway." He said, "I admire it that I'm off the sauce." He goes, "But it would be comfortable if you're you're able to have an alcohol-free drink. That would be good." And then another friend, he said, "Be open and honest about not drinking anymore. Be proud of who you are and what you've achieved. If it's a problem for him, so be it. My experience has been people don't care if you don't drink, if they are good people. Good luck." I can't wait for the debrief. That's cute.
Did you go on the date?
That was a bit of that. Somebody else slipped in at that time, so I had to cancel that day.
Oh, mate, so I was in demand. Double booked herself.
Double booked.
Oh, well, watch your space then for that one.
Yeah.
Because I think also we talk about it in the potty, like it could potentially be that you hold up a mirror to someone as well. Like if someone said to me, if they weren't drinking, I'd be like, oh, well, I'm not going to sit there and smash a bottle of wine by myself.
Yeah. And that's
back.
that's what I was conscious of too. Like if he was sitting there having a drink, or if I didn't tell him prior to going to have a drink, you know, I messaged him actually.
Yeah.
I messaged him and said, that I wasn't going to drink, and he said something. Stand by. Oh,
Thinking music. Bills free beds. She's really making us hang, listeners.
I know.
You're so prepared.
I was so prepared,
well.
and now I've dropped it.
I've got too many messages from boys to go through your archives.
He said off the gas. Wowee, good for you though. That's it, you know. And then was chatting about trying to catch up. So that was cool. Easy done.
I feel like
so I think
it sounds like all very positive.
Very positive. Like, and as I said, if these guys are worried about me not drinking, that's on them. Like, they're not people that want to get involved with. And to be really honest with you, Breather, I don't particularly want to be involved with someone that's a drinker.
Yeah.
If I'm really honest about it.
Yeah.
I really don't.
And do you mean drinking, like binge drinking, or do you mean just drinking full stop? What that look like?
Probably binge drinking. I think I'd be okay with a moderator.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I
think so too.
Yeah. I think so.
I mean, binge drinking, just cause when you could be doing such other fun stuff.
Yeah.
It's so different to just having a wine at somewhere and then doing something else.
Yeah. Like I don't want to be going on a date weekend chasing piss.
No.
You know what I mean?
Chasing penis instead of piss. That's what your new T-shirt needs to be, chasing penis, not piss.
Would you like me to read the rest of these little notes that I've written?
Yeah, read away.
What time do you have to get off? 12:30 or 1?
12:30.
All right, I'll run through this. So the sobriety. So confidence, I didn't know I had to explore and experiment. I just feel empowered AF now. Everything I thought I would never do, I'm doing. Even exes and randoms, all sorts of men are popping up into my DMs since I've been single. I don't know what's happening there. Be safe. That's a really big message. So message friends, their profile, phone number, their social pages and addresses. And if these guys aren't up for wanting to being on board with women needing to feel safe, they go. Like, no, if they're not up for verifying their, you know. I mean, one of the gorgeous ones, my closest one, like when I was the first night I was with him, he grabbed my phone. He said, "Here, message your friend, tell him he's safe." Like he offered that. And one of the other, young punk actually, first time I chatted to him, he voice called me, so I knew who he was. So I wasn't like Do you know what I mean? Like that's so thoughtful.
Considerate. Yeah.
It's so considerate. So considerate. What else? Sober sex. It is the best. I can remember everything. It's not sloppy or messy, and I can feel everything. And the orgasms they are absolutely off the charts. Like, because you know what it is. Most people can't orgasm when you're drunk. Like, so it's next level. The connection is authentic. It's not clouded by booze. And you'll often talk yourself into the potential of someone after several cups of loudmouth soup, rather than going, you know, this guy's no good, I'm out of there. So I think sobriety is a turn on. I think sobriety is sexy. I think sobriety tells me someone has richly developed self-awareness, that they've sat in their big feelings and worked through them. I think they've been able to seek help and offer help to others. They've made amends with their complicated relationships with alcohol. They don't band-aid their wobbles. They are comfortable with being uncomfortable. They have confidence and respect to honour themselves and go against the grain. They don't feel pressured by alcohol or, you know, and they're not sloppy or abusive mess at the end of the night. Sobriety's hot. Like, you know, sober dating.
They look fresh.
They do. And, yeah. And that's, I didn't answer all your questions.
No, I've just got a couple more best parts of sober dating.
Yeah, remembering everything and feeling everything and having those. And I'm not being chosen, Breezer. I choose. You know, I feel so in control of I do. And I've learnt so much about myself as well. I don't need, or I'm not diving into, I've got all these attention from so many different men. Like, how amazing is that? Like, that's exciting. My ego is like this big. But I say who, I say who, I say when, I say how much. You know, it's great. Like, it's so fun. And just the growth that I've developed through this as well. And, you know, they're not rejections, they're life protections. If a guy isn't messaging me back on the dating apps, fine, see you later. Like, you're not for me. Yep,
you're doing your favour. Worst parts? Is there any bad parts of sober dating?
Yeah, I had this written here. No, I couldn't think of one worst part. Obviously, the only smallest thing that's the worst part is sometimes I visualise, you know, dancing in the club and that sexy fun, like, but that window is this big. It's about half an hour. And I can do that sober anyway. I get up and get amongst it. But, you know, those thoughts are immediately moved down when I play the tape forward, because the night never ends well. Does the night ever end well?
Nothing good ever happens after midnight.
Honestly.
You don't want the party to end, so you keep going and keep going and keep going, and the next minute,
Correct.
Down and out in the gutter.
Yeah. So no, there's no worst parts of sober dating. It's all good and it's getting better and better. And I'm learning so much about myself. It's exciting. It's amazing.
Have you like, is there any inkling, Maso, to actually start properly dating in terms of actually looking to meet someone that you could buddy up with, partner up with, or are you still happy to have this freedom, flexibility and just
that's talking to me a lot at the moment. Yes, there's parts of me that would, of course, I would love to have that love and have that mate and have that connection, but I'm that person. I'm getting to know me and love me. And these guys are just popping in and out and pumping me up and making me feel good. Yeah. Pardon the fun. So they're great and they're respectful and lovely and it's nice and it's easy and, you know, that's all I need right now. And this might be me for a long time, Breezer. Who knows?
Yeah,
I'm not sure. I've still got a lot of healing from all of that. But yeah.
You're in a good spot, Maso.
I really am.
Well done, because I'm sure there'd be people listening.
You had one more question.
And I'm probably one of them to be thinking sober dating sounds daunting so putting yourself out there. What was my last question?
Oh, you had who makes the first move.
Who makes the first move?
Well, mostly they have, but I have once. Yeah, right. I ripped into it. I was like, oh, shut up. Shut up.
Put a muzzle on it.
Yes.
That's gold.
Little advice for men, if I can say as well. And I think the most gorgeous thing that is, like, the first question my favourite asked me as well is what women like. Like, What do you like? When was the last time you were asked, what do you like, Breeza? Like, really ask so that so you know what she wants and what she does and doesn't like, and be really respectful for that. I think that's incredible. And just make a woman feel like a goddess, love and adore her in all parts of her body that she's self-conscious of, and do the research. Like, foreplay starts in the morning, starts in the kitchen, starts with being thoughtful. We're emotional beings. Picking up the phone, having respectful, sexy text. Don't say, how do you suck cock? No, that's not going. No, be respectful. We can have sexy chats, but nothing putrid. So I've turned into Samantha from Sex in the City. I'm just loving myself sick. It's great. It's the best.
Well done,
I would
Maso.
highly rate it. So, and again, I again broaden your dating world from youngest, go crazy, to the oldest. Just broaden it worldwide, even just to get those hits or to get those conversations going. It can be with anyone,
That's it.
So be open to it. Open for business.
Open for business. Thank you for sharing all that, Maso. I'm sure we could talk more about it. And we talk about it a lot anyway. I need to get those names of those people you're talking about. That one from your shame story. But no, I think, there's some really important piece of information there for our listeners who may be, if they are single and are really, quite scared of dipping their toe into that dating scene because they're not drinking. Like some people won't even go and socialise because they're not drinking. So this is a whole other layer. So I think there's some really helpful advice and tips, and you can do whatever the heck you want.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
no right or wrong. There's no rule book to say you shouldn't be sleeping with these people. You can do whatever you want. So
go for it.
Yeah,
go for it. Get amongst it.
We will circle back to our listeners if there's any more updates we need to give you about the situation.
Might need its own segment.
Thanks, Maso.
Thanks, Breeza. Thank you.
Let's roll into we got phone fuck up with PH.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck up with the PH, cause we don't give a F for the call or text. Phone, fuck up with the PH. Give him a ring, check it, roll the decks.
This isn't mine. This is a guy that I matched with on a dating app. I don't know whether he's drunk, but I'm going to go with this. So I just said, thanks so much for the match, blah. He said, hard not to give you, blah. You're a blah too. I can't use those words that he's used. He goes, I hope you've been well, Claire. Kiss on the 6th of October. Good morning on the 7th of October. Ran away, ? On the 27th of October. Hi, with a love heart. Wednesday, 16th of November. Sub or dom.
Oh, where he puts it out there?
Yeah. 18th of December. Missed call from blah. 2nd of January. Love to eat you up and then end you with a massage. Called me again on the 2nd of January. I don't know whether he's drunk, but that's pretty cruel.
What times do they come? Like night times?
A couple are in the morning, but there's nighttime ones. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's been on the source, I reckon.
Yeah. I haven't replied to one of those.
At what point have you unmatched or reported?
Well, I quite like a bit of a laugh and see how far it will go. Just for a kick. Just for this segment, really.
Great.
Do you reckon he's drunk?
He's definitely, he's definitely drunk and toey, I'd say. For some of them, for sure. Oh, that's gold.
Good.
Gold. It's a rough world out there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can be on the dating apps.
Good on him. He'll keep trying.
He'll keep trying. Have a crack.
Cast the net far and wide. He'll get a bite.
All right.
It's time for the recommendation of the week.
Hoping you'd go first.
Oh, this is my entire episode today. Okay. So my recommendation is a podcast called Single Life of Us from Nellie Thomas and Kate Mulholland. It's actually finished now.
Yeah.
But go back and listen to all those episodes. Even if you're not single, go and listen because it really gives you a good insight into single life and it can help your friends. It's a good cackle. They're amazing. They're so fun. It's now turned into Dear Nellie. She has comedians.
Who's Nellie? Is she one of them?
She was one of the hosts.
She was one of the hosts.
Okay. Yep. So they've still ran with it, but they've just changed it a bit. But they are my super, super amazing recos. I love them to bits. And also men, listen up. No profile pictures with fish in the gym, shirts off. Take your sunnies off in photos with women with bad angles. Start with a funny, catchy line and be verified on your social media and just be respectful and nice.
Tattoos, cars, and tigers also out.
Snake pythons wrapped around your neck.
And a
Beer
child.
bongs.
I feel like
and the
child.
bird. Yeah, and I think there's a lot of bird going on too.
Yeah,
No guns.
No guns.
Big hunting.
And bathroom selfies.
Oh, put the toilet down. Get out of there.
Classic bathroom selfie. Thanks, Maso. That's great. My recommendation for this week is, and I've been quite spoilt, I have to say here. I have a friend who lives like 2-minute walk from my house, and she has a sauna. And so 3 times a week in the morning we have a sauna, and you don't have to have your own sauna, but
yes, you do.
No, there is other places like in Bendigo. There's several places that you can just go in and have a sauna for half an hour, whatever. It is a luxury, but I think it's such a nice treat for yourself. And I mean, I just love it. I love it. It's almost like my meditation, even though we sit in there and watch TV. But yeah, it's just a nice, I just love sweating. I love it. I love it so much. Just Tiffany Hall calls it something like golden juice or something. Golden something coming out of you. Yeah. Golden liquid.
Gold liquid.
Gold liquid. Yeah. She calls that sweat. And so treat yourself to a sauna if you can. You obviously have to make sure you don't have any health conditions either. But that's been my little self-care routine since the start of the year. We've been doing 3 a week.
Oh, beautiful. Do you just feel like cleansed?
Oh, it's and like we'll get up, it'll go up to 60 degrees.
Wow. I love a little cook. How long are you sitting there for?
Yeah, 20 minutes.
Wow. Unreal.
Sometimes longer, but we'd do it before in the morning. So
is it infrared?
Yep.
Yeah.
Red, baby.
Do you have a spray or a little coolness?
We don't, but you can get like a salt kind of thing where it does something salty.
Spray your face or anything?
we have water. We drink our water, but yeah, it's just so cleansing. You just sweat your little tits off. So my recommendation.
Love that, Breezer. Love that. Be careful on the dating apps, people.
Yes.
Wow. But remember, lots of people, I feel like, some people are really against dating apps. They're like, no, I can never go on that. I'm like, it's no different than walking into a bar and seeing someone across the other side of the bar and catching eyes with them. Yeah, it's great. You can sit here and be a slob in your tracky dacks on the couch and just swipe away. It's great. So get amongst it. Don't be scared. Have your wits about you and just a little ego hit, if nothing else. Breezer's just dying over there.
Haven't you got
choke it on her?
Popcorn.
Oh, no.
Have a sneaky bit. I'm dying.
I love how you had some popcorn for that episode. It was it was like, got the popcorn.
I literally grabbed the popcorn. Now I'm crying because I'm, choking on popcorn. Time to go. Thanks, E-Dog. Don't forget, everyone, hop on over to Apple. Pop a review on the Apple podcast. Yeah. We love your reviews.
Apps. Yeah, thank you, everyone. Give us 5 stars. Helps us go further.
Well done to those who have done Feb Fast. You've got 1 day to go.
Good luck. Well done. Woohoo.
Stay strong, Pete. Stay strong. Even do March in March if you want to. Continue it.
Love you.
Thanks for listening, guys. Bye. Bye.
This podcast is proudly produced by our audio engineer, music extraordinaire, Eric Ladd.
We love you, Eric.